This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so today is Thursday, January 9th, and as always, everything that we're going to be talking about today is for educational purposes only, and nothing is intended as any type of investment advice. All right, so had some things going on this morning. Looks like BBBY had some earnings. I know Davis had told us yesterday morning, and we can see things did not look so good. So it took a pretty big hit. I mean, coming down, it pretty much almost looks like it was halted to gap down here, and then pretty much just stayed completely sideways for the rest of the day. Now, 15 is obviously a very big psychological level for a stock like this, but coming down to that 1450, you can see we had a pretty nice show of hand coming into here. And based off of the prints that we've actually got this morning, that's quite a lot. Now, we have a little bit at 15 as well, 1510 right above, but you can see, I mean, overall around that 15, it's been mostly selling, and then obviously that 1450 being the lowest prints that we have. So didn't really pull up as much as you would like, but you also have to understand something too, is today we're going to, be expecting a lot more volume than it typically trades, and also a bigger average 64 cents. So overall, I am looking for a pull-up, but I'm not expecting it to be that big based off of what we have going on there. So that 1450, obviously, we're going to be looking for a trigger back down, and then we definitely have, some room underneath. So the setup's looking pretty good. We just really need that trigger towards that downside. Girl, imagine the news necessary to halt groundbreaking soap discovery. Yeah, I don't know, but you'd be surprised. Bed Bath & Beyond's got some pretty cool stuff. So, I mean, obviously, it's not really, that sexy of a stock, but very interesting. But overall, just going to be looking for that real hard trigger towards that downside because best case scenario coming up here, we definitely have some congestion. But if you look, if we break that 1450, really, yeah, 1450. If we break below that, we have some real nice room there. Next thing looking at is AGTC. So AGTC, I'm a little bit with. So it's not looking terrible. Yes, we did have a little bit of buying coming in around that 650 area, but not even close to anything that really would constitute a real show of hand in a cheaper stock like this, especially considering the fact it's just been mixed. And that's, we could see that based off of just sitting in that consolidation pretty much all morning. But the thing that I always look at with these cheaper stocks is I want to see buying up near the highs. And, 650, like I said, there's a little bit there, but there's not really much else. So, I'm not sold whatsoever on this yet. But the one thing I do like is that, even when it's not really trading, it has been holding pretty well. That 6 level is very important because if it breaks below that 6, then we go into this disgusting consolidation and it really kind of dies out. So holding that 6 going to be important, but unfortunately, there's not really much to trigger up, towards the upside for. So it's got all the variables. I am just not in any way happy with the prints yet. There's nothing there that I see that shows me, oh, okay, I'm not gets me excited. So I'm going to need to see something else coming back in. But like I said, it does have all the variables. It is holding so far. And as long as it does hold at 6, which I don't really see a reason it has to yet, but we can still, continue to look for some type of real big buying coming in to show us that it's going to have some type of opportunity to really get moving. KSS next on our list, and I'm typing in the wrong box. KSS. All right, so Kohl's taking a hit. So everyone was real excited about how they're taking like the Amazon returns and they're kind of partnering up with that, but obviously they're not really, doesn't make that big of a difference. So there's not really a ton that's going on in here yet. Coming down to that 45 level obviously is going to be a huge psychological level, and we can see right here that we did get the selling that came in around 8:30. So right about here, we got a pretty substantial pull up. So we really don't need to pull up anymore than it actually already has. That is acceptable. The only problem that I do have is that we can continue to see some buying that's coming in above the support level, which is above that 45, and we know 45 is more than likely going to play a bunch of games. So we would definitely like to see it's only hit it once at that 45. We would definitely like to see it hit a few more times, maybe get a real nice pull up to that the perfect case, pull up to that 46.25 level before we'd be looking for that trigger down. But if we don't continue to see more selling coming in at that 45, we're going to see this thing pull up even more than it did in the first place. I mean, you're talking about a 75-cent pull up on Kohl's, which, I mean, at the same time, the range is going to be bigger today, $1.37 on average. So we can certainly expect more than that. But overall, definitely has the prints at 45. I would just need to see a little bit more coming in because, like I said, I'm not a big fan of the amount of buying and covering that we're seeing coming in at above that 45 level. All right, and then I got a side list, VBIV. So VBIV, Another one where it's not as bad here, because if we look, and if it lets me go all the way back, it will on the other one. If we look over here, we do have buying near the high. So you can see, coming up right underneath two. But if we look at the 190 level, 195, 190, there's definitely some buying. There's money that's been coming into it at those highs. So it's been holding fairly decently. So if we do get a trigger towards the upside right now as a price target, I'm perfectly okay with, because we do have that buying up, like I said, up near the highs. So we're actually triggering towards something. Now it's kind of in a little, it's a little bit iffy. It's definitely a little bit quanty within, definitely consolidated within a trading. But what do you expect on a stock that on average moves 8 cents? So this is a huge move for a stock like this. So we'll keep our eyes on it. And then, like I said, trigger towards that upside, price target of 2, and then 2. Obviously, we'll need new information to tell us where we'll be looking for it to go. And other than that, I think that's about it. One thing I do want to just kind of point out for a second is that I know all the market stocks are up big, but just take a look at the selling that we've seen be coming into Apple today. So, I mean, overall, it's quite interesting that up near these highs that somebody's getting out a lot of their position. And then, yes, I saw APLS this morning, but one of the things that I'm not happy about is just the volume that it went up on. You could see it just floated. It was basically just off print. So this entire move up does not really mean much for us. So I would like to see something, if we do get a show of hand that came in here, I mean, 41, yeah, it's, got a couple of prints, which definitely mean a lot based off of how thin the orders are and really how there's such a lack of trading that's going on with it. But based on, no, definitely. I mean, it's got the variables, 276,000 shares. That's perfectly fine. It's starting to get actual consistent volume. It's just those, the movement towards the upside, I'm just having a very hard time believing in based off of what we got going on there. And then especially, coming down, someone coming out with 12,400, 11,800. Those are some pretty big positions for somebody getting out or shorting. It doesn't really matter at this point for at that 41 level. So definitely, I'm interested. It's not my favorite out there, but at the same time, it is definitely something that's worth watching. And my favorite pen is starting to die, which that's not cool, but that's what Ink's for. All right, guys, anything else out there that I missed? Anything else out there that I missed? I think that is about it. All right, guys. So remember, as always, our habits. What habit are we working on? Let's make sure we focus. We focus. Go over what you have on your Post-it notes. Make sure your biggest weaknesses that you take care of first, because they will most directly affect your trading. LK will keep an eye on, Tracy, but LK is just it's not doing anything yet. There's better stuff for us to be looking at the moment. All right, guys. So I will talk to everyone in the chat, and happy trading.